Live. Welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Bums
Whoa.
podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B-Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bums in the house, but it's just me and AJ tonight.
Couple bums.
Yeah, just a couple bums talking about a Spurs victory. The
Oh, is that
first,
what we're talking about today?
abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh,
First game of the regular season, Spurs versus Mavs. We walk away with a resounding W. You bet that's the first thing we're going to talk about.
I totally missed the game last night, Rob. I have no idea what happened. I was just trying to catch up on Dancing with the Stars and completely skipped it. And I was like, oh shit, the Spurs played. Yeah, right, bro. I fucking saw that shit from beginning to end. I was hyped as hell, bro. What are we watching, Rob? What are we watching? I don't even know what I'm seeing right now. I don't understand it. And now, granted, I'm trying to be like, let's keep it within the spectrum. But it was one game, but that one game is spectacular. Rob, what are your thoughts on that game last night?
Well, there was a lot that I liked about that game. I mean, obviously, you look at the way Wemby played, and I think that's where we have to start. Obviously, 40 points on 15 of 21 from the field is insane when you also factor in that he got 15 rebounds, not a single turnover, and all of that has never been done before in a basketball game, and that's how he starts out the year. That's the beginning to the sentence that is the 2025-26 season from Wemby.
It's not even that. He shot what, 2 3-pointers? And so he's not like shooting 3-pointers. Shot 71% plus 3 blocks, and those blocks were like little bro blocks. Those are things that like dads do to their sons in the driveway type blocks. And I man, dude, I have no words to describe what we saw, because it was just one of those like, how did we get here? How are we so lucky? The everything about the game was awesome. But I want to start, and I want to ask you this too. Did you notice as well? I think it was maybe like the third or fourth possession of the game, and Cooper Flagg gets switched up with Wemby guarding him. And Cooper Flagg was like, ISO, ISO, ISO.
I saw it, yeah.
And I think that pissed off Wemby. I think that really pissed off Wemby. And he was like, oh, ISO, me? All right, cool. Good to know. And then from that moment forward, it was off to the races, dude. Off to the races. Did you notice that?
I did. I saw that, and I viewed it very similarly to how you viewed it. Obviously, everybody on planet Earth knows that he's a great rim protector, but I felt like Cooper was like, oh, this is a moment where I have him in a little bit of space, and I think I can go by him. And Wemby was like, nah, it's not going to quite be that easy. And I think that was largely indicative of the night that Cooper Flagg had, when you saw that he didn't score in the first half, and he got his first bucket in towards the beginning of the third quarter, and it's like, we didn't make it easy. And I felt like you and I basically we predicted the future. You were like, hey,
where's our flowers, dog?
You were, yeah. Absolutely. You were like, hey, I think we're about to blow out the Mavs, and we're about to win this game handily. And I was like, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think we're about to see Cooper Flagg struggle to get the ball up the court because Steph's going to be clamping him. And
he sure did.
We basically spoke that into existence.
It's almost like we should have a podcast.
There you go.
What's awesome about that, and I'm a little salty, so early dunk to Rudy and Mike. I texted Rudy and Mike on Love You Hard TV. I texted them and I said, hey guys, actually, you know what? How about this? I'll read you exactly what I said to them. And this was probably a little bit after you posted that video of us talking about it. I said at 5:10 yesterday before the game, I think the Spurs blow out the Mavs tonight, and it's a Wemby year 3 showcase. All right, how do we end every episode? No.
Well, and what did they respond to that?
Well, they it was I don't want to say what Mike said because it was funny. He made fun of AD getting hurt. But then he was like, Rudy J said, I hope you're right. And I said, me too, Rudy. Otherwise, I'm getting flambéed by you and
Yeah.
tomorrow. And I didn't get flambéed, so I'm happy about it.
There you go. That's how you have to look at it, because ultimately that's exactly what happened. He put on a showcase, and you saw what he said in the post-game presser. He was like, "Hey, this needed to be a statement game," and it was very much that in every sense of the way. I mean, you beat a team 125-92. Yeah, that is a statement victory.
I guess because we haven't watched Wemby play basketball in like 8 months or whatever it is, you forget how demoralizing he is. Like as a basketball player, because he's little broing you the entire time. And a lot of these guys in the NBA, they don't get little bro, they're big bro. And for him to absolutely, a couple of things happen. It was absolutely demoralizing when he was drawing fouls, and there's nothing you can do about it. And those were definitely fouls. Don't tell me anything otherwise. Those were fouls.
Yeah,
they're going to call it in 2025.
Yes.
And you're hitting and ones. You're making supposedly your perimeter defender in PJ Washington look stupid. I don't know what he was doing on that with that pump fake that Wemby gave him. Like, what did you expect? Like, is so outrageous to me, not because of Wemby, because PJ Washington was like, "Oh, he's gonna shoot that." Oh, never wait, shit. Like,
and even if he does shoot it, he's shooting it right over the top of you, regardless of your closeout. So you need to just always play the drive, essentially. And yeah, he got cooked on that. A lot of Mavs players got cooked on that. AD got cooked on. He got roasted on multiple in and outs, and Victor just went right into his body, finished at the rim multiple occasions, and it was just so great to see him go at one of the premier defenders over the last 10, 15 years, and just out physical him, but also out finesse him as well.
And I mean, you look at the bag that Wemby has, and he was getting to the bucket. He had a sky hook. That was one of his buckets. He had some fadeaways. That was a couple of buckets. And then the sets we were running to give him open looks on lobs and things of that nature. I mean, we've been running a lot of these sets for, 20, 30 years, but now we have a guy that we can just throw over the top with. Like, good luck stopping all that. And then what makes everything great is that we saw Steph Castle, like, literally show that he's a dog. Like, he is a dog, and we have dogs on our team, and the passion that they show and the hype that they have. Like, as much as Wemby played great, Steph Castle's the reason why that was a blowout, because he would get a dunk, get a steal, get a dunk, get a steal, like get a steal, pass it off, 3-pointer. And that was when we went on our run in the third quarter, and it was because of Steph Castle.
I agree. Yeah, like there was so much about his game in transition that I really, really loved. And I'm going to highlight one play where he just literally read exactly what Cooper Flagg was doing, and saw that he was about to make that swing pass, stuck out his arm, tipped the ball, and it literally just created a one-man fast break finish at the rim. And that's exactly what Steph Castle brings to the table. Not only a great on-ball defender, but then he couples that with a great transition attacker. And you saw that with the stat line, because he can put up 22 points, but he's also a good rebounder for his position. He's going to get you 6, 7 rebounds.
Mhm.
Hey, but then he's also able to kind of pick apart the defense in a sense that he's going to find the open man. He's going
Yep.
to get you a handful of dimes as well. And man, it's refreshing to see him just not miss a beat and just pick up
And
right where he left off at the end of last season.
dude, it looks like he's moving like water on the court. Like it looks like he's floating at times because he's so fast and it's so effortless for him. And like getting to the basket and dunking the ball like is just as easy as we breathe. Like that's what it looks like. And then for me too, one thing that kind of stuck out to me is Harrison Barnes had a great game. And no one's talking about it, but he had a
Right.
great game in terms of in the first half when we needed to keep it close, we could swing that ball to Harrison Barnes and he could find the bucket. And that was huge because I think we're going to need Harrison Barnes. We're going to need De'Aaron Fox. We're going to need some of these older guys, especially in the like beginning of a game, just to kind of keep everyone even keel and like get that bucket to keep us in the game early so we don't get blown out. But then once our young guys kind of get settled in, it's off to the races. And that's what we saw last night.
Oh yeah. I mean, once the offense got cooking, it was yeah, we could simply not be stopped. And a lot of our young guards had so much to do with that. And I mean, I know that we were just highlighting a lot of Steph Castle right there, and I love what he was doing a lot. But a couple of things with the
Yeah.
5 turnovers and the fact that he went 5 of 10 from the line.
Not great.
I think a guy that gets fouled as much as he does, I really want to see him convert those
Yep.
opportunities a little bit more because we know how easily he can get to the free throw line because he just cuts to the paint like butter. It's
The,
just, yeah, it's so easy for him to get to the rim and get a shot off.
yep.
He's gonna get fouled, and those opportunities are gonna be 10, 12 times a game. So I would love to see him
Easily.
hit 9 of those.
And they were bad misses too. Like the
Yeah.
free throws he was missing were bad misses. It wasn't like, oh, you hit the side of the rim, hit the backboard, hit the side of the rim, and it came off, or like it swirled around and rolled out. They were like short, they're long, they're just ugly free throws. So I would assume a lot of its first game jitters, but tomorrow the next game, the Pelicans game, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good test for Wemby. Can he do this again? What I find really fascinating is we have a back-to-back home, but the game on Sundays at 1 p.m. Rob, do you know why the Spurs have more afternoon games this year?
Uh, because afternoon games are fun. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why
The
though.
afternoon games are a lot of fun because we can like go watch the game after or at lunch and be like, oh yeah, no, as long as they have TVs, we're good. But the real reason is Wimpy's box office. The NBA is trying to market him worldwide. Therefore, you put him on at 1 p.m. in San Antonio. It's what like 7, 8 o'clock in France, give or take. And then also, it's 12. You said call it 12 hours to like the Asian countries and all that stuff. Like now he's being globalized on the biggest stage of an afternoon matinee game. So we're gonna have a lot more of these afternoon games. It might suck, it might be fun. For me, as someone in my mid-30s, I think it's awesome because we can go to the game, we can get stuck in traffic, but we'll be home by 6, and that's awesome. So, or we can get done by 6, and I can still go to bed early. So I'm excited about those games, but the big reason is because Wimby is box office. He's worldwide. He is the new Mr. 305, possibly 210 for sure. Maybe not 305, but I'm so excited. We kind of touched on this last game a little bit, or last podcast a little bit, and it was mostly, hey, how do you feel about this team being like in the spotlight? And after last night's game, we are front and fucking center.
Oh yes, and obviously we are comfortable in that spotlight because whenever we kind of faced some adversity, uh, in that late second quarter, we didn't shy away from it. And shout out to Drama and the group chat for bringing this up. There was a point in that second quarter where the Spurs were down 3 points and the score was 48-45. And then the way we finished the game was 80-44. So it just really showed that in that second half, when the push came to shove, we really just upped our efficiency, upped our aggressiveness, went to the basket more, and really just tried to create smart opportunities. And I think that bodes well for us moving forward. If that's our mentality, is we're not going to rely on these tough fadeaway jumpers. And there was a couple of them in that first half, and I was like,
Mhm.
we're kind of going
Yep.
back to what we were.
Yeah.
We can't do that. And then it was refreshing to see us kind of shed that off, get some efficient buckets,
Mhm.
and then build an early lead and maintain that lead against a pretty decent opponent.
It makes me wonder during the summer. Here's what I think happened during the summer. All the times Wemby went to go train with insert ex Hall of Fame NBA player here. I bet the first thing that they said was, "Boy, you are 7'5", 7'12". I don't know how tall you are. Do not shoot three-pointers." I think everyone started their training with that and then talked to him about, all right, or maybe they gave him a compliment sandwich and said, "Hey man, stuff really great, and I'll many three-pointers, but we can work on your footwork and you can become a dominant post player." And the back, dude, the back that he has, I I, maybe it's because he's 7 feet tall, but I haven't seen someone have handles like that where you're 7.5 feet tall and you're dribbling below the waist and you're able to go in and out with ease and at the same time keep your balance and hit a fadeaway three-pointer as you get fouled. Like, I fell out of my seat. I literally fell out of my seat watching that sequence.
Honestly, it never ceases to amaze me when I watch how fluid he moves and how it translates to an amazing basketball play. It just looks like it shouldn't happen, and yet he does it at a really, really highly efficient rate. So yeah, that just seeing that 40-point outburst from Wemby, it was truly special.
Yeah,
Um,
I will say it's one game,
it
but
is.
but if we can go to New Orleans and Wimby can, I don't know if he's gonna replicate this, but if he does, and we're talking in early December, saying Wimby's averaging 38 points a game, and he's doing this, this, and this, being super efficient, and he's also having 4 or 5 blocks a game or 3 or 4 blocks a game. Like that's a scary thing to think about because if AD can't hold him, we know Giannis can't because we watched that game. Who's who's stopping that? And also, I will say this: another bold prediction or somewhat bold prediction, but I guarantee you, Wimby has the 76ers circled for Joel Embiid, and he's like, "I'm gonna drop 80 on you because you drop 70 on me. I'm getting 80 on you." So whatever day that they play, whatever that, put your bets in. Oh, let's not talk about bets. We'll get to that later, maybe. But I will say Wimby's going to dominate that game, and he's going to make Joel Embiid think about retirement.
Yeah, I mean that would be really interesting. I just don't know if Joel Embiid's
Yeah,
in
he's not going to play that game.
right. I mean, he may not even play. I don't know if his name even holds as much weight as it did a couple of years back. I'm not 100% sure, but at the same time, I think yeah, Wemby is this is a statement year for him, and I think this is going to be where he solidifies himself as an MVP candidate for the next 15 years.
I think so too.
You're not going to see an MVP race moving forward without Wemby, which is going to be really really amazing, and we're already seeing it. He's already like tied for second for most for points per game, and he's leading the league in rebounds per game already. So yeah, I think we're about to see a special season, but
And
he
and who
wasn't he
can,
wasn't the only guy that did well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, real quick, I know we're going to go well, people, but Cooper Flagg did not have a good game. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds, double double. Good job. But those 10 points were in garbage time third quarter because the game was done. The game was over by the time he started making any kind of shots. And I would argue some of those shots, like, he got lucky on them. So, I think obviously it's game one. He was thrown into the fire. So I'll put an asterisk for sure. Because he still had more points than Wemby his first game. But I think Cooper Flagg is going to have a really tough time right now without a veteran point guard to help guide him through some of these growing pains.
I agree. Well, if he's the primary ball handler for a lot of their sequences, it's going to be tough. And drama. Shout out to drama again. He brought it up in the group chat. It did look a lot of, kind of like what we were doing with Jeremy Sohan and the Sohan point guard
Right.
experiment, where it was like we're just playing a guy a little bit out of position, trying to ask a little bit too much of him a little bit too early on. And as talented as Cooper is, you just can't be asking
No,
him to be your primarily
not,
ball handler
not
and
the first
playmaker.
game, not the game. But
Yeah.
what was fun though was him finding out who Wemby is in the paint. Because how many times did he get to the paint and he was like, no. He was like, no.
I'm a pass back out, which is the smart decision more often than not.
Those are the things that we talked about in year one, Wemby, of like, hey, we need to find out a way to measure that stat to where Wemby isn't blocking a shot, but he's making people pass out of the paint. I'm curious to know what that looks like, but I'm not going to sit there and do it for anybody. So someone can go do that themselves or ask ChatGPT.
Right. Yeah. Someone just tell me the stats on that, and then I can speak them and sound smarter for having said them.
But
But
who
yeah,
else
but
had a good game, Rob?
I was about to say, like, I think we have to talk about Dylan Harper's first NBA game, his first regular season performance. 15 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of dimes on 50% from the field. I think that's about what you want to see from him.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw some of the flashes of his playmaking and his
Mm-hmm.
ability to get downhill, and it was really nice to see a really dynamic guard come in the game when Steph Castle wasn't out there. And even when he was playing minutes with Jordan McLaughlin, it's like it still feels like we had a dynamic pick and roll option with him and Cornette or him and Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
It was really refreshing to see him kind of be comfortable with that, even though you saw him with the 5 fouls. He kind of had some dumb fouls and it really wasn't moving as quickly as I thought on defense and kind of relying on some reach-ins.
Yeah.
And he also had 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
So I think that there were some things that kind of reminded me, okay, as
He's a rookie.
talented. Yeah, of course. It's his rookie year and it's his first game. These are going to be some things that are going to happen, but still very, very promising.
But
I love him coming off the bench.
yeah, but you look at his body, he had a decent game. I have 4 turnovers, but how he played in the first half compared to how he played in the second half. Now, it could have been a microcosm of our incredible second half that we had in the third quarter, and he was just feeding off of that because the Mavs didn't know who to guard, and all of a sudden Dylan Harper shows up and he's like, "Oh, one, cool, here you go." So it could have been a combo of that, but the way he started the game looked like a deer in the headlights. He looked like, holy shit, I'm playing on ESPN in a Spurs uniform in the NBA. Damn, I can see my dad. What's up, Papa Ron? Hope there's a good cigar place, by Dallas. But anyway, so whenever I see him in the first half and then how he made the adjustments to really turn it up in the second half, that's amazing. And because then he looked like what we saw in the preseason as like a pretty seasoned, vet that looks like he knows what he's doing with the offense. But that first half or those first few possessions, you're like, all right, he's a rookie. It's fine. No big deal. But as soon as he got settled in, I think it just all kind of clicked. And I'm really curious how we incorporate De'Aaron Fox into this rotation and how we incorporate Jeremy Sohan as well. I think, there's definitely, I mean, if we can incorporate them and still get the production that we're getting from Castle and Harper, like I'll see you in the Western Conference Finals.
Right. I mean, it certainly could be that case. We do have a lot of mouths to feed, but that's the essence of basketball. A lot of people can eat,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have several guys score in between the 17, 18, 19 point range and have our offense just flourish in the fact that we're playing good team basketball. I could see a world where a lot of people are happy in
Yeah,
that
sure.
in that role. But it's going to take a lot of people buying in and,
Yeah.
maybe De'Aaron Fox accepting a slightly lesser role so that we can allocate some development towards Castle and Harper. So
But I mean, like
yeah,
you just signed your extension, dog. Like you're good. Like you're good. You're
yeah,
good. You if imagine getting paid more to do less. Like that's kind of like my mindset of like, wait, I can do a little bit less, but you're gonna keep me for this many years and I'm getting paid $200 million in a tax-free state. All right. Yeah. Sure. Take my minutes.
yeah, say less.
Like, I mean, that's how I would think about it. Obviously, I'm not De'Aaron Fox. I'm not in the NBA. I don't have an ego, to make it to the NBA or the height. Fun fact. But I think that's a good deal if you're De'Aaron Fox. Like, oh, I can get less minutes, but I can prolong my career by maybe 2 or 3 years because I'm not playing those, 35 minutes a game. So I mean, I'm curious to know what his mindset is, and if his mindset is what I just said, less minutes, more money, I can extend my career and make even more money, then yeah, like whatever you need me to do, dog, I'm good.
Right. And I think you brought up a really good point. And if we continue to win basketball games like this, it won't matter because you're just going to do whatever you have to do to just keep winning. And so if it's him playing 28 minutes a game instead of 33, 35 minutes or something
Yeah,
like that, and it means, a few extra minutes for Harper and for Castle, so be it. And that's going to be the beauty of our offense and sort of the deadliness of our depth.
yeah. I mean, and I mean, we're gonna have some guys go out for a few games here and there. It's going to happen. Just hope it doesn't happen with everyone and or a long term kind of thing. So they're going to get their time. They're all going to get their time. They're all going to get their way. Even if they're not injured, we're going to say they're injured and wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So like I'm more excited of what I saw from the team with Wimby, and that is they're passing him the ball now. They're giving him the ball and they're like, oh shit, you're right. He is the best player on the court and probably one of the top players in the entire world. I should throw him the ball. And then I look good because then he throws the ball back to me. Then I can throw it back and he can dunk it. And that's cool. Like that's one thing I've seen the growth of this team is just now he's getting the ball. And it's like, thank fucking God. Because now we can see what happens when he gets the ball and they defer.
Well, and I hate to say it, but a lot of it was, guys like Devin and other guys that were kind of just like, well, I'm the senior guy on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I should be taking the shots. I should be creating the offense. And then now it's Castle is in here, and then Harper's in here, and then Wemby has these younger guys that can kind of be under his wing, and
Right.
and and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, give Big Daddy the ball,
Yeah.
and they're buying into that, and especially they're going to keep buying into that, like we were saying earlier,
Oh,
if it leads to wins.
and then the best part is you sign these free agents like Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk, De'Aaron Fox, and they're like, hey, like that tall dude's your best player, right? Like that's it. And I think like that's what I think about these past couple of years is like we had spurts of like, okay, we're gonna give Wimby the ball, but yesterday was we gave him the ball, and you're like, whoa.
And it wasn't a little bit. Like, we continuously fed him going to the basket, coming off of screens, running like inverted pick and rolls, all different kinds of good stuff that you want to see you trying to run for your best player. But it's not like he needed a ton of offensive opportunities to
Right.
get that to get that 40 points. It only took 21 shots
Yeah,
and
crazy.
was an efficient 9 of 11 from the line. So
And
that's
that's the
exactly what
best
you wanna
part.
see.
That's the best part. He got to the line 11 times. 11 times. And it would have been more, but he had so many and ones that it would have been, probably 15, 16. So the fact that he was absolutely looking to go to the line and getting that domination, like that, those are the things that we've been trying to say for 2 years now, and he's doing it. So if this is game one and we have all this success and we score 125 points, hey man, that's a pretty good recipe for wins. And the one guy that I'm like really impressed with from yesterday, Mitch Johnson. That one snippet of him in the huddle, I'm like, all right, sold. He's my coach. He is my coach. He absolutely has taken the reins and he has these boys ready. And I'm like, just don't be weird like Joe Mazzulla. Just keep it cool. Like, do weird stuff. Just be Mitch Johnson and be the head coach for the Spurs. But it makes me happy that you can hear Pop's voice in that.
Yes, and I think that's all we had to do was just sit there and trust that Greg Popovich
Yep.
was gonna send the ship off in the right direction, and 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 honestly, he's doing it beautifully. Like, and of course, Mitch Johnson isn't going to be the loud, boisterous voice that's going to just be, like the huge personality you're going to see online or on ESPN or some bullshit like that. No, he's going to be the guy that's going to tell you maybe two sentences of stuff, but it's going to be right when you need to
Mm-hmm.
hear it in the huddle, and it's gonna be something that's gonna just kinda bring everyone together, and that's what you
Embrace
want
the
from your head
boring.
coach. Yes,
It,
of course.
and it's like, yeah, that's why we love Luke Cornett. Because also, can we take a pause for 1 second? That was not a flagrant foul. You cannot convince me otherwise. I don't know how you hit the ball out of someone's hands and you get called with a flagrant foul. That I
Right,
don't get that. That's some
and
pussy
a
shit.
and they said it was the follow through, but all it was continued motion after he had
What's he
already
supposed to
made
do?
contact with the ball. He already made contact with the ball, and of course, yes, he hit some of the head. Of course, there was contact with the head, and now in 2025, everyone flips out about that. But at the end of the day, he went for the ball. The intention was at the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The refs knew that.
But I mean, whatever.
Not it was a hard foul, not a flagrant though.
It's not a flagrant. It was not a flagrant. I mean, it's one of those like, yeah, when you slow it down like that, it looks terrible. But when you play it in real motion, it's a bang bang play, dude. It's a bang bang
Yeah.
play. Like that's what pisses me off about instant replays, especially like NBA, NFL, college football, whatever you do at replays, is they slow it down so much, and you're like, yeah, well now it looks like this, but with the naked eye, you couldn't see that, and you shouldn't overturn it because we're slowing it down to the slowest tempo you can possibly think of.
Right.
So, but I think we have a lot of things to look forward to. Let's see what we do with the Pelicans now that now that we've kind of put the NBA on notice. Let's see what we do with Zion. Let's see what we do with that team. Um, but I'm very confident in our next two games after that, Nets and the Raptors, I believe. So like I expect Wemby to have 30 points in Monday's Sunday Monday game, but I'm curious to know what's going to happen with the Pelicans on Friday. So it's a good matchup.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a very favorable next few games, so I think that this is such a great opportunity for the Spurs to get off on the right foot, and we already won one of our tougher games over the next couple of weeks. So I think that this is an ideal start for the silver and black, and I could not be more thrilled about that. But I also could not be more thrilled about solar opportunities for you. If you visit the solarscouts.com/bums and figure out how to get yourself a clean, reliable solar energy for you and your family, the wonderful people over at the Solar Scouts will give you free consultation, figure out what plan makes sense for you, your home, your family, your bill, all of that stuff. They're going to help you save money through their very, very well designed solar panels. They'll help figure out what makes sense for you and your home, hook you up with a sweet plan, help you save some money. The solarscouts.com/bums. Talk to Nick over there at Solar Scouts. They do fantastic work.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They shoot 71% from the field.
Right. They are
But 100%
essentially
on your energy bill.
yes. They do not get turnovers.
What's your prediction for the Pelicans?
I mean, I'm predicting a win. I think that we have some good momentum. I think that obviously the Pelicans are a team that is kind of in the air with their identity right now, and they really don't have a solid footing as an organization. And so I feel as if that's a team we can go in and get an easy win, even if we still don't have De'Aaron Fox. There's no Jeremy Sohan. I still feel like we go in there and get a solid win.
I mean, it's going to be fun for Wim. I think it's always funny when Wemby goes to New Orleans because it's like he's the real French, and like y'all, I mean, like
Right.
kinda, but
It's like this is French Quarter, but I'm French. Yeah.
He's like, he gets a beignet and he's like, what the fuck is this? Dude, we got to take a moment and we got to pause we got to get Spurs PR involved immediately. Wimby's been dropping too many F-bombs on TV. Like, I think it's hilarious, but I know ESPN and Mickey don't like it. So it's like, I get it. He's probably just like in the emotion, not thinking about it. He's French. What are you going to do about it? Maybe that's our excuse, but his English is good enough that I get it. Like he said, what did he say? God knows I worked my fucking ass off. And like, I love that. But ESPN doesn't. What's it, the FCA or what what do they call them?
Gosh dang it. I
The
can't think
FCA,
of it.
is that it?
Yeah.
Federal Commission, something like that. If someone in the chat tell us what it is. But like they're not happy about it. So I'm curious to see like what happens moving forward, because it's not the first time, probably not gonna be the last time. But if we win a championship, guess what? Get that beeper out.
Well, I think it's just kind of him letting his hair down a little bit, being a little bit more of himself. And, you know, if he's dropping an F bomb every once in a while, I don't necessarily hate it because he's got the cash to pay the fine.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be, the I don't want to get to the point where it's like, okay, Wemby's a trash talker, he's foul mouthed and all that stuff. And it's like, because I love the reputation he has now is like, being a wholesome guy. He's going playing chess and, learning about NASA and stuff like that. I don't want him to also, turn into like, like all of a sudden he's like gambling like MJ and shit like that. It's like we're like, no, Wemby.
It's like, oh no, not Wemby. But I am curious to like, I would love to see Wemby's house and see like if he has a section of his house just dedicated to his Legos, and or if he has like a Lego room with like, it's like an organized room with all these pouches and all their color coordinated and stuff, and he just has like this Lego land of a like area. I'm curious to know if he has that, because I guarantee you after they got done with the game, he was like, I don't play with my Legos. Good night.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna have a snack and then play Star Wars Legos. Good night. Yeah, yeah, dude. I could easily see that is kind of how he unplugs and
Oh, for sure.
unwinds. Because I mean, you know that's totally up his alley because he posts about it and he talks about
Yeah,
it. But
bro. I don't know about you, but after the game, I couldn't fall asleep. I was like, I'm so geeked up right now, and I kept watching Wemby. I watched so many Wemby highlights. Like I sat there for just, I watched all of them, every single one of them, so many times, and every time I'm like, we're just so lucky. We're so lucky. We're so blessed. Like, thank God the ping pong balls fell where they were, or thank God that the NBA loves to rig first round picks for us. So I'm very, very excited for this season. Um, man, Wemby MVP, defensive MVP. I mean, I think it's not out of the realm of possibility.
right, I think yeah, there's a lot to be excited about, and yeah, I think this is gonna be yeah, Wemby is going to be in MVP talks, definitely Depoy, and yeah, I think this is going to be where he battles with Jokic for maybe first team All NBA type stuff, and I think maybe they both end up squeezing in that list.
I am curious to know how we measure up against some of these heavy hitters in the West. Like I'm really curious to see. Well, I'm curious to see how they measure up to us. I should start saying that because we have Wimby, and what did we say during the summer? We said two things. One of them was at the end of the day we have Wimby and anything's possible. The other thing we said the NBA isn't ready for year 3 Wimby, and both things right now are very correct. And you should all subscribe and listen because we know what we're talking about. We love this team, and that's why we do this for these reasons. So I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but I'm definitely trying to suck myself off. So
Well, I mean, yeah, it feels like we should after just accurately predicting what was going to happen in game 1, and it feels so good to win like that and to win in that fashion
in there,
right.
and the best part of the night, go Spurs, go chants in the American Airlines Center, and like loud too, not just like go Spurs, go. They're like go Spurs.
It was like how we say it in the mic.
That was loud. Like it was loud, and they kept showing that one dude with the Wemby jersey with the whole row by himself, and like it was, man. I wish I could have gone to the game. I wasn't able to go to the game. Basically, unfortunately, I had to be an adult, and I realized if the game started at 8:30, then it's really not going to start till like 8:45, depending on how the first game goes. If it goes into kind of overtime, maybe 9 o'clock. By the time we get done with the game, it's going to be like 11:30. I have to drive an hour back to Fort Worth. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And I had to wake up early the next day to go to another meeting at 9 a.m. So like it wasn't going to happen. But I still stayed up and watched the whole thing on my couch. And I literally fell out of my seat. And when I heard the Ghost Spurs go, I just felt it. I felt it. And a little tear came down my little face. And I was like, I think we're back. I think we're back.
I I think you're right, my friend. I think we are on the verge of seeing Spurs basketball like we did when we were kids, and it just brought us such great joy. I think we're seeing that Wembenyama foundation. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Johnson is going to be a foundational part of that as well. And it's really lovely seeing all of that unfold. And that's I think that's going to be a huge part of the 2025-26 season is just seeing where all of these flowers kind of arrange themselves. But dude, an amazing first game to the season, and we could not be more pumped. Um, Before we get out of here, no dunks tonight because we're keeping it all
Keeping
positive.
it positive tonight.
Keeping it positive after that great Spurs win yesterday. Any other things you want to touch on before we hop up out of here?
Actually, I do want to. I just thought of something, Rob. I kind of want to dunk on one person.
Let's do, let's do it, but let's do it
We
like it'll be like a hard layup.
we might have the same person. I'm curious to know who you have, but I want to dunk on Shaq. Strong layup on Shaq for continuing to compare Wemby to Bol. I mean, what are we doing? Like, no, he had his opportunity. I saw the stats, man. He played 22 minutes a game, didn't do shit. Like, we haven't seen this before, buddy. And I think we're seeing Shaq turn into that old unk who is not ready to kind of take a back seat to a guy that plays the same position as him.
Oh, I mean, we've been seeing it for years, whether it was Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Rudy Gobert. Like he's had the opportunity to be this cool older uncle and like take some of these really, really talented bigs under his wing and be like, dude, I like ABC about your
Mhm.
game. And instead, he's just like, oh, you're not as big and dominant as me, so I'm gonna shit on you. And it
Mhm.
just reeks of insecurity and I can't say it any other way than that. But yeah, I completely agree.
And and
It's
then
cringe.
and then on the other side you have Chuck who's like, "Hey Chuck, who's the best power forward of all time?" And he's like, "Tim fucking Duncan." Like and he doesn't have to say that. He has an argument himself for being an undersized power forward and dominate the way he did. He has an argument. But the fact that he's able to take a back seat and go, "No, like there's someone better," is pretty crazy. Like it's pretty interesting that the guy that trashes San Antonio has probably the most respect for San Antonio on that panel.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you really can't expect a guy like Shaq to respect everyone nowadays because he dominated so easily. He made it look effortless,
Yeah.
and so he's just sitting there like, why can't you do what I did? And it's like, Shaq, well, no one really did what you did.
He
So
he he would get cooked cooked by Wimby.
I mean, he certainly could, and I don't think that gets said enough. Is when he was playing throughout his prime, the whole game was get the ball down low,
Right.
and because that's what the focus was, and he was the best at that.
Mhm.
But nowadays, if you're playing the five position, there's a lot of times you have to guard 10, 12 feet away from
Yep.
the basket. And I'm sorry, but even some of the most athletic bigs of the 90s, early 2000s, you get roasted doing that. Even
Yep.
like I love David Robinson,
Of
but
course.
but his defense drops off a cliff when you put him 8, 10 feet away from the
Oh yeah.
basket.
And
And
you put someone with the handles like a Wimby. Like I'm trying like for me, I'm trying to picture like 2000, 2003 Shaq when they were winning the three-peat. Like, how would he guard Wimby? And I don't know how he would do it. And there's no one on that team that would know how to do it. Like, you're gonna send Robert Ory out there? Okay. Like, there's nothing you could have done about it. And like, it's a different game, obviously, but I think Wimby is just one of those generational talents we're seeing right now that could have played whenever. His
oh
game
yeah.
is just that generational, and I really, really, I think I think the scary thing is we're focused. I think that's the scary thing. We're focused and we're motivated, and everyone seems like they have a lot of things they want to prove, especially the one that's your captain. Watch out, NBA. You better watch out.
That's exactly where we want to be.
Did you have a strong layup for somebody?
Well, I really wasn't expecting to have a strong layup on anybody today, but but ultimately I think I'm gonna have to have a strong layup on, I guess some of this gambling stuff that's kind of being
It's a
kind
weird
of
story, isn't it?
yeah, it is with Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups. So I guess I gotta have a strong layup against Chauncey Billups, but it's opening the opportunity up for former Spurs legend Thiago Splitter to be head coach, at least interim head coach. So I think it's a layup that's leading to an opportunity. So ultimately, I just think, dude, if you're playing professional sports and betting on your sport,
Bad. It's bad.
it's just not a good look, dude. It's like you can bet on a lot of different shit that's not basketball. Go bet on that stuff that you're not involved in. Go bet on some football, or go bet on some baseball, or just some other shit that you're not, you don't have a financial interest in. And it's always going to come back to bite you in the ass, because somebody's always going to investigate about it, because it's too much money at stake.
Yeah. And and I mean, at this point, it's like, just, what's going to happen, but it's weird because what do they do? That you can now, college athletes can bet or on pro sports, like the day before this came out, like that's what passed, and then, or that's what was decided. And the biggest sponsors in all these places. Did you see the clip today of Greeny talking about the betting story, and ESPN on the bottom ticker slowly like took away the ESPN bet app? I mean, that's the irony that we're in on right now. So like sports betting, whatever, like it's so there that it's in your face. How can you not pick it up and go, I'll try it out for a little bit? And by the way, I'm not going to play my best players on Tuesday. And like, that's, it's just in your face. So it sucks, but you're right. They need to know better. And they have classes on this. They all have classes on. They do it every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good, strong layup.
Yeah. I mean, they needed a little putback layup all over them.
Back to zero.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They had 11, 12, but back to zero. That was very much needed. And if anyone is still here, still listening to the podcast, we appreciate you. If you just listen to those very, very strong finishes, then we appreciate you.
Dylan Harper to the rack.
Right, exactly. That was a nice, crafty left-handed finish right there. We not only appreciate you, we love you, and we love you hard over here. There's so many different ways that we could be delivering this podcast, but it makes us so happy, the fact that we can really contact the community, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram. You guys are filling the comment section, you're liking, you're sharing, all of that great stuff. That just drives us to want to do this even more, especially on the heels of really, really great Spurs victories. There's just so much excitement moving forward for San Antonio Spurs basketball. So
you better grab a Snickers and a cigarette. We're going to be here for a while. Oh, we are. Get ready. We're going to be doing a lot of these fun podcasts. It's going to be great. Strap in. We're doing this.
Yeah, and like we were saying on another episode, we want to be doing more like right after the game ends, live episodes. We weren't able to do it right after that late finish last night, but more of those games, we would love to be doing that. Absolutely. But that's a great episode. Shout out to all of you for being a part of it. And we're going to end this episode the same way we end all of our episodes. And that's with Go Spurs, a go.